headquarters of ITN.
Thalidomide victims prepare to go back to court. Focus on Britain reports on why they're seeking more money.
It's impossible to put a price on arms and legs.
In the 1960s, more than 400 babies in Britain were born with deformities caused by thalidomide, a drug prescribed for morning sickness. Adults now, and many of them married with children, they claim the compensation they received is proving totally inadequate. In tonight's Focus in Britain, we report on the 3 men who hope that their test case will mean more money for every thalidomide victim. The reporter is Anya Sitharam.
No, actually, I come from a little place down the M62 called Liverpool, but I come from a nice part of Liverpool. It's a little fishing village called Toxteth. It's like Beirut with job centres, but
The successful comic Gary Skyner has managed to overcome his disabilities, but that doesn't lessen his deep sense of injustice that the British victims of thalidomide got a raw deal.
let's look at it 30 years on now, where the people are no longer children. They've got normal, natural lives to lead and want to be the same as Joe Bloggs next door. They do want to go on holidays, they do want to drive cars, they do want to have children.
This victim is unemployed with a family to support. Freddie Astbury receives £6,000 a year after tax from the victim's trust. That's on top of his original payout of $33,000.
Well, I don't think we were expected to live long. People thought we were just going to be locked away. The longer we've lived, now it's getting harder and harder.
Thalidomide is still used to treat some serious illnesses, but 30 years ago it was withdrawn as a drug for morning sickness because babies were born seriously deformed. Its 460 victims received a £28 million out-of-court settlement from the government and the manufacturer's distillers, a settlement which they want to challenge in the European courts. Okay. Kevin Donnellon has come a long way since these pictures were filmed in the 70s.
I'm not scratching my back.
Today, still reliant on his family, he feels his settlement was inadequate.
It's impossible to put a price on arms and legs, but I think £19,000 is very derisory, and I felt it was very unjust. OK, well done. Just plonk us in. Nice.
Kevin's electric wheelchair is being repaired, so he's even more dependent on other people. He's bought this specially adapted van and is buying a flat with a loan from the trust, which was set up as part of the original settlement, that pays him around £6,000 a year on top of social security.
On the face of it, it seems a lot of money, but it's not a lot when you take into account expensive adaptations to cars, to property, expensive wheelchairs, etc.
Current compensation awards certainly seem more generous. £59,000 for a woman disabled at work. She got arthritis in her hand. £674,000 for a teenager confined to a wheelchair. He now hopes to be a lawyer. And £1.2 million for a driver crippled when his car hit a horse. The thalidomide deal was signed in 1973 after years of legal wrangling. Experts insist that the amount of compensation granted to victims was fair. A doctor who assessed the payment says reversing the deal would be unrealistic.
I'm not sure that one would have anything other than chaos if you started unpicking all previous decisions, because it so happened that the expectations on which they were based have turned out different.
But that doesn't deter Freddie Astbury.
Hi, Keith.
He and the others know there's little hope of winning their claim here. That's why they're turning to Europe. They hope that the European courts will agree that the settlement didn't take into account that they would one day grow up and have children. They say it ignored a fundamental human right, the right to family life. Anya Sitharam, News at 10, Liverpool.